DC motors. So this DC motors are classified into two different types. One is the separately excited DC motor, and second one is self-excited DC motor. It's clear. Separately excited DC motor and self-excited DC motor. So this way this DC motor can be classified into like this: separately excited and self-excited. Here, separately excited means the field winding of the DC machine is excited by separate source. Okay. So in the DC machines, two types of winding, that is called armature winding and field winding. Okay. So generally in DC machine, the field winding is stationary. When field winding is in stator, armature winding on rotor. Okay. Field winding on stator and armature winding on rotor in DC machines. Understood? This is clear. Separately excited DC motor and excited an extra DC supply or excitation need to start this type of motors. It's called separately excited DC motor. Okay. Induction machine, stator winding, rotor winding is the induction machine. Stator is having winding and rotor is winding. Okay. The stator is winding is stationary and supply is called AC induction machine. But here in DC machine, stator is having stator core and slots, and that slots, so the winding is there. Similarly, rotor also is having some slots, and the winding is inserted into the rotor circuit. Okay. And the winding is placed on rotor. That winding is called armature winding. Okay. If the winding is placed on stator, that is called field winding. Field winding. So we are giving the DC supply to the field winding externally. Okay. The extra DC supply or excitation need to start the type of motor. That's called separately excited DC motor. Here, self-excited DC motor means so no need of extra DC supply to start the type of DC motors. Okay. So no need of separate source. No need of extra DC supply to start this type of DC motors. Self-excited only. Okay. Okay. This construction and working of separately excited DC motor, in the construction and working of separately excited DC motor. The DC motor is the device which converts the direct current into mechanical work. Am I right or not? Electrical to mechanical one. Motor is energy conversion, electrical to mechanical. So motor output is mechanical. No? So it's direct current into, that is called electrical energy into mechanical energy. DC motor is a device which converts the direct current into the mechanical work. Okay. So electrical to mechanical. So it works on the principle of Lorentz law. Okay. It works on the principle of Lorentz law, which states that the current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic and electric field experiences a force. Understood? The current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic and electric field experiences a force. Understood? And that force is called Lorentz force. So you already seen in 3 induction machines this how the force is developed in this rotor. Okay. The current carrying whenever the rotor is excited by some amount of flux. Okay. Rotor is excited by the stator magnetic flux because of induction. So EMF induced in the rotor and then current is developed because of that current. Some amount of force is developed. So that is according to the Lorentz force. The current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic and electric field experiences a force. It's called Lorentz force. Generally, this motor is works on the principle of Fleming left-hand rule. Okay. So based on Fleming left-hand rule, we can express the, so what is the direction of force? What is the flux direction? What is the current direction? Okay. What is the current direction in armature winding? What is the current direction in field winding? Okay. What is the flux direction, field winding? What is the current direction, field winding? Okay. That flux direction, field direction, and force direction can be explained by using Fleming left-hand rule in motors. Understood? In motors, Fleming left-hand rule. But in generators, Fleming right-hand rule is generally used. Okay. In generators, Fleming right-hand rule, but in motors, Fleming left-hand rule gives the direction of the force. Okay, construction of separately excited DC motor. Okay, so try to consider this is about this is called separately excited DC motor construction. Construction of a separately excited DC motor. This is called a yoke. Okay, understood. This is called a yoke of the DC machine. So this yoke is protect the stator core and winding also stator core. This external part is called this outer side part is called yoke of the DC machine. Okay, this is called a terminal box. Terminal box, understood. Here these two windings connections. This is called field winding. These are the different type of poles. Okay, this is called pole. This is called one pole. This is called one pole. That means this here, this machine is a 4-pole dish machine. 4-pole. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 norths and 2 souths. Here north, south, and south, north. So like this. North, south, like that. It will be placed. Okay. So here this is called a pole core. Generally, it is called as a pole core. So this pole, na? So up to here, this is called a pole core of the dish machine. So up to here. This is called pole shoe. Generally, it's called pole shoe. This is called pole shoe. So the width of the pole shoe is high compared to here, and the width, this is called length, and width of this pole shoe, length of the pole shoe is high compared to pole core. So because of the uniform flux distribution to the rotor winding, this is called rotor, and this is called armature winding. Generally, it's called as armature winding in DC machines. The rotor winding is called armature winding. Okay, and the stator winding is called field winding generally. Okay, armature winding is placed on rotor, and field winding is placed on stator in DC machines. This is called pole core. Up to here, this is called pole core. Okay, this is called pole shoe, and it is also flux distribution uniform, means the air gap between rotor and field pole is uniform, na? So increases your uniform air gap. Okay, so this stator pole core and pole shoe to pole shoes to the rotor, and then between gap is maintained uniform. Okay, so this here also you have to maintain the gap is uniform. Okay, like this pole shoe is designed. This is called pole core and pole shoes, and this is called field winding. This is called field winding. Separately exited for separately exited machines. So this is a supply. We are giving the supply to this field winding is externally separate. Okay, for self-exited machine, this field winding is connected in parallel to the armature winding. Understood? This is called field winding. This field winding. So here field winding. This is also field windings are connected in this pole core. So field core. So this is not a permanent magnets. No? These are all not a permanent magnets. Okay. So this field winding. So we have to give the externally supply to the field winding. So that means the field is in our hand. That means strength of the magnetic field is in our hand. That the field flux can be controlled. Okay, if you are giving the externally power supply to the motor by using this flux can be controlled. Am I right or not? So if it is separately excited, the flux is in our hand. Okay, if you are using, for example, if you are using permanent magnets, the strength of the magnetic field, I mean the magnetic flux density is not possible to change. The speed control is a lack of speed control for permanent magnets. But here, field winding, by controlling the field current, by controlling the voltage, by controlling the field current of this, this flux can be controlled. By controlling the flux, the speed of the induction motor is controlled. And also, these permanent magnets are used for only small motors, toys only. Okay, so the field windings are this type of windings are used for only large machines. Okay, this is generally the field winding. So here, starting of the field winding is here and connected in this like this manner, and then these all our field windings are connected in series. Okay, so like this, the field windings are connected, and this is called armature winding. Understood? This armature winding is having slots. This is also slot, here slots. Having different type of slots. Okay, this is one of the slots. This is one of the slots. Here slot, here slot, here. In this slots, winding is placed. Okay, that's winding is called armature winding. This is called armature. Okay, armature, understood? This is called armature. This armature core having slots, and the slots of the winding is placed like this. Understood? The winding is placed like this in this armature core. Understood? So this winding is called armature winding. The armature winding is placed on a rotor of DC machine. It's clear. And this is called armature conductors. So this is called armature conductors. The slots inside of slots, the two dots are there. This are called winding. Okay. Okay, these are all called windings, armature conductors. And then this black color is represented as is called brushes. So brushes is a rotating part. No? So this is a rotating part. We are giving the externally power supply to the rotating part. How it is possible to give the power supply to the rotating part? By using brushes. Okay. There is a contact between the rotating part and this is called stationary. Brushes are stationary. These brushes are stationary. Okay. So these brushes are stationary, and also there is a contact between these rotating part. The armature is rotating. The armature windings also rotating. Okay, this armature is also rotating. This is called shaft. If it is rotating, okay, to maintain the contact between the rotating part and the stationary, this is called stationary. Terminal box is stationary. Okay, so how to give the power supply to the armature winding? By using brushes. And understood? By using brushes. So the brush, this is also brush, and this is also brush. It's connected to the brushes like this manner. So this is called armature winding. Understood? And then this is called commutator. Commutator. This commutator is a conversion that is called just like a converter. Commutator is just like a converter. So this the input of the DC supply is called DC. No? The input of the DC supply is input of the DC motor is called DC. Right? The input of the DC motor is called DC. And so this in this armature winding is called AC. The armature winding supply is called AC. So how to convert this DC to AC? By using commutator. By using commutator for motor, so it is possible to convert DC to AC by using commutators. Okay. So because of this armature winding is carries only AC supply. So that's why. So by externally by using commutators, it is possible to give the supply DC supply. Okay. So input is called DC supply, and then its commutator is converting to AC, and then AC power is fed to the this armature winding. Okay. So for this motor, for this motor, for generator, this output is electrical. So inside of this armature winding, AC is developed. That AC to DC conversion. So the commutator works as a AC to DC conversion for generator. Here AC generator, armature winding AC generator, that can be converted into DC by using commutator and then given to the output here, terminal box. So you will get DC supply for generator. Okay. For motor, commutator acting as a rectifier. For generator, commutator acting as a inverter. It's clear. So this is the construction about separately excited DC motor. It's clear. Understood.